Hey, Doug Murin here, sitting out in the Florida sun outside Dunkin' Donuts. I want to talk to you today, a little mini course I'm calling it, on increasing your visitor rate. I want to take point one, which is uh, how to assimilate more effectively the visitors you do have. Uh, the fact is that most churches I've analyzed, and I've noted that others have as well, have about 20% of their church leave every year. And that's why if you don't have a good visitor rate, you are going to experience decline. We have a problem now with particularly baby boomers departing. They're bored, men are tired of singing, all that kind of thing. But we're also probably needing to be a little more effective with assimilating the ones we have. How do we lose 20% a year? The word lose is a bad word, actually. But people get jobs in other cities, they move to new neighborhoods. People have negative things happen, like divorces, loss of job, bankruptcies, all that kind of stuff that tends to cause people to be less frequently part of the church. So it is difficult to beat that number. So also, I would add, one of the worst things you can do is get panicky and ultra programmatic about getting your visitors up. You have to have a real strategy. So in our mini course today, I want to talk to you about how to be more effective sort of assimilating your guests, because if you're going to make up for 20% of your church, you're probably going to have as high as 60% in number of the size of your church a year. So let's say you have 100 people, you're probably going to need like 5 visitors a month to maintain that, to grow probably 10 a month, and of course the numbers change as you go up. Okay, number one, to assimilate people more effectively, you want to spend time in making sure they get there the right way. Part of the dilemma of a lot of overt marketing is about 85% of people, if not higher, were brought to your church by a friend or relative if they've become assimilated. Only about 15% actually stumbled in the front door. Often they're the ones who let you know they're there the most boisterously. The others are already kind of glued in and they like their family and their friends and they'll hang in with you. So celebrating the better way for people to come in and trying to increase that better way of earning your church is the way to go. Here's what I recommend. Instead of having guests this morning raise their hand or however you do it, ask those who brought a friend or relative that day to lift their hands. Give them the packet. Give them the material. Why is that? Well, one, it's a little more it's a little less stressful for the visitor, number one. Number two, you celebrate bringing in your church while not doing a sermon on it or begging people to do it. People do what gets rewarded, remember that. So spending a lot of energy online, email blasts, etc., to your established people, giving them skills, things to invite their friends to, is going to increase your visitor rate. Because if you can increase your visitor rate, you really don't need as many visitors as I outlined earlier. The more you keep, the less you need. Okay, number two, your new front porch to everybody is your website and your Facebook and other media. That's why I've developed a thing called the Digital Net, which links together all social media and websites into a monolithic presentation of your church and marketing. Because even friends and relatives of people in your church are going to check out your website. Here's the problem. They don't care who your staff is. They don't like those nice, wonderful photos of your pastor. They look canned. They don't look real. Would you really look like that if you answered the front door at your house? Would you have a pose, looking pretty CEO-ish? No, you wouldn't. So I recommend you get rid of almost all the pictures of your leaders. People don't care, they change too often. Have action pictures of kids in your church, youth, whatever it is around your church, and have an in-action shot of your leader if you're going to have any at all. And I recommend little videos, nice home videos that people can click from the pastor and get to know them. But most Facebooks are horrible for churches. They're nothing more than yellow pages. They're nothing more than ego trips. People don't care what your vision is. People want to know if you care about them. So by spiffing up your website and making it more front porchish, you will increase the rate of assimilation, actually. Also, I suggest to churches, most don't because it sounds like a lot of work, and I don't get it. To me, it's easier to work hard than it is to scramble to pay the bills, but I encourage you to look at a chat room on your website. You don't have to have it available 24 hours a day, but people are going to chat boxes. They're warmer, or you can even have chat rooms where people call in. Give people an opportunity to either interact with a real person or call in and interact with a group of persons. It doesn't matter if nobody shows up but one person. In fact, it's probably better. You will enhance your feelings of affiliation before they get there, and that will help you because they'll already have a good idea who you are. You will have established the friendship factor and all of that. So those are two things that'll help you be able to do this. And I'm going to say the third one quickly because we're running out of time. Sort of tweak the way you do memberships. I recommend only having 1 year or 2 year memberships. Why? The present day commitment on people's part is probably about 3 months. Used to be 3 years. Probably people reconsider their commitments every 3 months. And when people come, they don't really want to join your church for 89 years. In fact, it's not something they want to do. But many will sign up for an sort of an introductory thing for 3 months or a 1 year membership. Would you like to be part of us? Though you may not think it affects your visitors, it does. It creates an environment where I can choose to continue if I want. The idea that church is going to be eternal has gone. People don't know this, church leaders don't know this, but that's a great block. People want to have control in their leaving and coming without losing face. So there you go, a brief little 7-minute, 50-second teaching on visitors.